It is official. The Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills will be meeting in the AFC divisional round in Orchard Park this Sunday at 6:30 p.m. In this video, I will be talking about how the Ravens can beat the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo and how implications for both teams will be drastic going into this year and potentially the following season. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And now let's get into this video. Now with this matchup, everyone's going to point towards the obvious reason and outcome of this game. The winner of this matchup goes into the AFC Championship and becomes one step closer to winning the Super Bowl this year. Now, that's what everyone's going to look at. And that's what the teams are going to look at. But a lot of people, both on YouTube, on Twitter, on all of these social media platforms, they are going to look at the two quarterbacks in this matchup, both Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, the rightful MVP candidate, who will play and who will outperform one another. And that might be in the back of both quarterbacks' heads. However, a trip to the AFC Championship is on the line. Both teams have struggled in the playoffs the last couple years. Allen and the Buffalo Bills are 1-6 post the AFC wild card, and Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens are 3-6 in the playoffs in the Lamar era. The Ravens and the Buffalo Bills need to win, but only one team can win, and only one team can move on. And I do think the Baltimore Ravens have a very good chance to walk into Orchard Park and beat the Buffalo Bills. Now, here are my 5 bullet points, my 5 ways on how the Ravens can beat this team in Buffalo. Now, number 1 is simple, and unless the game gets out of hand, this should be the game script with or without Zay Flowers. Run the ball heavy. You have Lamar Jackson, you have Derrick Henry, you even have Keaton Mitchell and Justice Hill at your expense. Run. The last time you played, Derrick Henry had 24 carries for 199 yards. The Bills have a solid run defense ever since Matt Milano got back. However, the Ravens are one of the best running teams in the National Football League and have been since Lamar has taken the realm at quarterback. So I expect this to be the full game plan where they run the ball, even again with Zay Flowers, without Zay Flowers. I do think running the ball is the number 1 priority. The second one is playing disciplined football. In Buffalo, in an away stadium, in a loud stadium, you're going to want to try and be as clean as you can possibly be. In the last game, the Bills had 4 penalties for 38 yards. The Ravens had 8 penalties for 79 yards, nearly double the amount of penalties and double the amount of yards. It was not good. And in games like this where I expected to be a lot closer, a penalty like a pass interference, a false start, a holding on the offensive line, it could be drastic to a drive, and it could kill a drive, and it could ultimately lead to the demise of your game script and of your plan of winning the game. So if the Ravens want to win this game, they have to be clean, specifically the offensive line. The third way is working the short pass game. We saw in the first matchup that Justice Hill had a very huge role in that game. In fact, he was the leading receiver in that game, 6 receptions, 78 yards, and a touchdown. If the Ravens have any shot of working the pass game, they're going to have to do it short. Guys like Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, those are going to be the 2 guys I expect to have a game. Now, Rashad Bateman, I think, will get his stats, and I do think if Zay Flowers plays, he will get some production. But it's going to rely on the 12 personnel set, the 2 tight end set that the Ravens do a lot. It's Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews doing the heavy work for this pass offense. And that is going to be the key if Zay Flowers is out. So I do think this will be the game where Likely and Andrews with those crossing routes are going to be used a lot. And obviously you can't run the ball forever because it will be stopped eventually. So I do think the Ravens will open up the pass game in a heavy set, and those 2 guys will be the guys to look out for, Likely and Andrews. So now for the Ravens defense, what you're going to want to start with is limiting the Buffalo Bills running backs and Josh Allen's legs. In the first game, James Cook had 9 carries for 39 yards, and Josh Allen only had 5 scrambles for 21 yards. The Ravens held the Buffalo Bills to 23 carries, 81 yards, which is 3.5 yards a carry. The Ravens have been one of the best run defenses in football this year. In fact, the best, with an 80.1 yard per game. 13.1 yards separates them and the Minnesota Vikings from the number 1 and number 2 spot. And if the Ravens want to win this game, they're going to have to stop someone like James Cook, who has been a top 5 back this year in his play, leading in touchdowns, doing all sorts of things out of the backfield, both running, catching, everything you can imagine out of a running back. He does it well. And outside of Josh Allen, that's who I would put my focus towards. If you stop James Cook and you force Josh Allen to pass to someone like Mac Hollins against a Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins, Kyle Hamilton, Ardarius Washington, you're going to win. Which leads me to my final point of attack for this game. Limit the targets that Brandon Stephens will get. Brandon Stephens will be targeted a lot this game, whether it's Keon Coleman, the matchup, Amari Cooper, it may even be someone like Mac Hollins. The Bills are going to look his way, and they're going to see where he's lined up pre-snap. And that's where the ball might go. If they line Keon Coleman up, Keon is going to have a good game. If it's someone like Mac Hollins, we'll see. But I do think the Ravens have a very good plan. Khalil Shakir will be in the slot with Marlon Humphrey. Nate Wiggins will take either the opposite of Keon Coleman or Amari Cooper, whoever is not on Brandon Stephens. And Kyle Hamilton will have the role of stopping Dalton Kincaid. That was the formula that worked the first time, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's the formula that works the second time against this Buffalo Bills offense. So, in conclusion, the Ravens need this victory. Lamar Jackson needs this victory. Derrick Henry needs this victory. But also, the Buffalo Bills need this victory. The Bills are entering a year where Josh Allen played one of his best seasons. The Buffalo Bills, as a team, played one of the best seasons they've ever played, beating every top team except the Baltimore Ravens. But if they win this game, they have a very good chance to go to the Super Bowl. If the Baltimore Ravens win, they also have a good chance to go to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. These two teams know that they are the best in the AFC, along with the Kansas City Chiefs. But there can only be one, ladies and gentlemen. There can only be one winner, one true MVP, and one man can become one step closer to their dream and their first Super Bowl. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys for tuning in to this video all the way through. If you've watched this far, thank you. If you are still here, please hit that subscribe button down below, like the video, go follow me on Twitter. That's where you see a lot of my takes, a lot of my content. But we're still posting on YouTube, you know. But appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, guys.